absolutely, ladies. And it should be a quick warm up for us here this morning, despite the fact that we're starting out in the 30s, a few more spots in the 30s this morning than what we had yesterday, and a lot of 40s out there as well. You've got 37 in Lawrence, quite a bit cooler than the 40s you had yesterday. We're right at 40 in Gaffney, 47 in Clemson, and downtown Greenville, an anomaly there with 54 degrees right now. You're in the warm spot. Everywhere else across the upstate, though, you're looking at 40s. It's more of a mixed bag into the mountains, where you've got 31 in Franklin, so you're actually below the freezing mark there, 36 in Asheville, and then 41 from Hendersonville into Rutherfordton. So it is a little bit cooler even still than what we had yesterday morning. But quickly warming up from here. In the next hour, we're up to 49. We're at 60 as we head towards 10 o'clock this morning, 66 by the lunch hour. So now we're into that short sleeves territory with 71 at 2 o'clock, 73 at 4. Pretty similar to what we had yesterday in terms of our temperatures, with a nice mix of sun and clouds out there. Do want to give you the heads up, though, that because of some wildfires burning in the mountains, we do have air quality advisories in effect for Yancey, Mitchell, and McDowell counties, as well as Graham County. So be aware of that. If you've got sensitive, if you're in the sensitive groups, you have breathing problems, lung issues, asthma, try to limit your time outside during the day today. We'll talk more about the warmer temperatures arriving just in time for the weekend, and we'll talk more about how long those are sticking around coming up here in just a few minutes. But right now, I do want to send things over to our First Alert traffic expert, Chris Scott. Chris, how's those Mitchell counties there in those far eastern mountains? That is because of some of that wildfire smoke. So that means that if you're in that sensitive group, this is a code orange for today. Those are the folks that have asthma, breathing problems, lung disease, the very young and the very old. Try to limit your time outside today. We also have air quality concerns out into Graham County as well, so be aware of that if you live in that area. Once again, trying to limit your time outside during the day today. The wind's working in the favor of those firefighters today. It's not going to be a terribly breezy day. Winds are nice and calm out there, but those will start to pick up as we head into Friday and Saturday. The big issue for today is that we have pretty low relative humidity this afternoon because of that big temperature spread. When you get these cold mornings and then warmer afternoons, that means we've got a big temperature spread. So in the afternoon, that relative humidity really plummets. But the next couple of days, the relative humidity is on the rise. So favorable for that firefighting efforts there, but the breezes will start to pick up 20 to 25 miles per hour tomorrow and Saturday. Calmer winds for Easter Sunday, and then some more 20 to 25 mile per hour wind gusts expected during the day on Monday. Overall, today is a beautiful April day with temperatures right where they should be for this time of year. 76 in Simpsonville as well as Clinton. You got 73 up into Chesney this afternoon with a mostly sunny sky. We've got 75 in Easley, 78 in Bowman as well as Calhoun Falls. So a couple of degrees warmer than yesterday. 74 even in Bryson City with 69 in Hendersonville, 72 up to Marshall. And then of course Highlands, you're always one of our cooler spots there with that 63 this afternoon. But these temperatures are spot on with where we should be for this time of year. Normal daytime high in the upstate is 74. 75 is right where we should be. In the mountains, that 70 is your forecast high for today, which is on the money for a normal daytime high. Now, tonight's still going to be a cooler night as well, but it's not going to be as cold as it has been. I don't think we're really going to see 30s except for across the tippy tops of the mountains there. In the upstate and the mountains, we're looking at mid 40s for lows. In the upstate, upper 40s to right around 50 degrees, and a nice quiet start to the day tomorrow. And then even more mild temperatures on the way as we head through this upcoming weekend. In terms of our overnight lows, we're talking 50s and 60s to start off with, so no more of these really chilly mornings. In the afternoon this weekend, we are going to warm up into the 80s with 80 degrees for an afternoon high on Good Friday, 84 on Sunday, and then 83 as we look ahead towards Easter Sunday. Staying dry, but a little more cloud cover expected for Easter Sunday. So 7 o'clock sunrise service, very mild, 62 degrees there. You've got 66 at 9 o'clock and 72 as we look ahead towards 11 o'clock on Easter Sunday. Really not a bad looking forecast there. Those 80s are going to stick around into next week. Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, we're still talking low 80s. So running about 5 to 10 degrees above normal for Easter Sunday. 8 o'clock in the morning, we're mostly cloudy with that 62 degrees. By 11 o'clock, as services are starting to wrap up there, you've got 72 degrees and still mostly cloudy, but rain free. I will emphasize, even though we got a little more cloud cover, it's going to be rain free. 81 degrees at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and then we'll see a little more sunshine here with partly cloudy skies at 5 o'clock in the afternoon, and that 82 degrees. That's your high for the day, and 77 at 8 o'clock. So a great day to be out and about no matter what you have planned for this Easter Sunday. Ashley?
You might even want to get your hop on like that bunny there. Well, thank you so much. 724. Here's what's new this morning coming out of northern Greenville County. Pretty Place Chapel will host a live sunrise service this Easter Sunday, but it will be invite only. This is because
out the door, especially through the mountains. 39 in Brevard. You've got 36 in Bryson City, Asheville, as well as Bakersville, Hendersonville, and Rutherfordton. You're only at 41. You're the warmer spots in North Carolina. In the upstate, 37 in Lawrence right now, 44 out the door in Anderson. It's 42 in Toccoa. Greenville, you're a bit of an anomaly there at the downtown airport with that 54. Once you get out of downtown, though, those temperatures drop pretty quickly into the 40s. So for most of us, this is a colder start to the day by anywhere from 1 to 12 degrees colder, especially for Franklin, Asheville, and Union. It's a little bit warmer in Toccoa as well as Rutherfordton and Greenville. Again, just a little bit of an anomaly right there in downtown. I'd still wear a jacket as you head out the door this morning, no matter where you are. Those temperatures will be in the 40s still here in the next half hour, and then we'll start to climb from there. We do get quickly to that 67 by 11 o'clock, 71 as we head towards 2 o'clock this afternoon with a good amount of sunshine again for today. Sunglasses needed, no rain gear necessary for today. That will hold off until we get into next week. We'll talk more about the better agreement in the data and when we are kind of eyeball next week. So those of you who like the 80s, I am one of them, we are going to definitely be feeling some of that warmth and that much nice warmth there as we head to next week. Fine-tuning the rain chances for next week. It is becoming a clearer picture now for us where we're starting to get better agreement into the data, and I'll show you that in just a second. But let's talk about today, where it's going to be a beautiful day out there, mostly sunny skies with 76 in Malden as well as Gray Court, 74 up in Cowpens and Gaffney, which is a couple of degrees warmer than yesterday, but not a noticeable big difference there for you. 77 in Hartwell down to Abbeville as well as 96 with 75 in Liberty this afternoon. We'll see 72 in Silva with 71 up into Weaverville, 73 in Forest City, and 69 in Brevard. So a pleasant day across the mountains as well, as again, you're a little bit warmer than yesterday. Tomorrow kicks off our stretch of 80s across the upstate with a high of 80 to around 84 across the upstate and northeast Georgia. And the mountains, you're still a little bit cooler than that, but you're still running about 5 degrees above normal as you get into those mid 70s to even around 80 degrees there in Bryson City and Forest City tomorrow afternoon. Plus, it's another dry day to kick off this long Easter weekend. 84 degrees on Saturday. That is going to be the warmest day, and then we backslide just a touch on Sunday. Not a big difference there, but you will see a little more cloud cover for Sunday over what we're going to see on Saturday, where we're looking at partly cloudy skies. Touch breezy on Saturday with winds gusting 20 to 25 miles per hour, but wind's not going to be a factor into the day on Sunday. And the rain holds off throughout the Easter weekend, but it's starting to pick up as we head into next week. So what we were looking at yesterday is that we have this, this is a European model showing a cold front coming into the area on Monday, and we're going to see that then slide through the area, and it does look like we're still kind of latched into this idea that it's going to stall out across the southeast. Now, the moisture is pretty limited with this one on Tuesday and Wednesday as this kind of moves across our area, but it's enough that it could bring us a couple of scattered showers, mainly for Tuesday and Wednesday. Now, the American model is starting to hop on board with this potential setup here. It's slowed down on the front, showing that more so coming through during the day on Monday, so that builds our confidence that we could see some scattered showers on Monday afternoon, and then Tuesday and Wednesday showing that trend for this to stall out over the area and again bring us just enough moisture for some scattered showers and maybe a few thunderstorms as well. So right now, each afternoon, we're not talking a washout, but each day I should say, we're not talking a washout, but we are talking about the chance for some scattered showers, a few thunderstorms mixing in as well. Again, no wash. Greenville, you're actually down a handful of degrees here on the hour, but you've kind of been the anomaly all morning. Lawrence started out in the 30s, and now you're up to 43, up to 47 in Anderson, and 48 in Spartanburg right now. And in the mountains, we are starting to climb. We've got some of those low 40s in Hendersonville, 43 there, but still a lot of 30s out there with 38 in Asheville and right at the freezing mark in Franklin. So in the mountains, you definitely want to grab that jacket to stay on the warmer side, but you won't need it for long. Once we get to 9 o'clock, we're already up to 57 degrees, 68 degrees as we head towards 1 o'clock, and 74 at 6 o'clock this afternoon. So you'll notice that once we get really past the lunch hour, we're down to the short sleeves, maybe even some shorts this afternoon. afternoon, and definitely the sunglasses as we head out and about later on today. No rain in sight for today or all the way through the holiday weekend. We'll talk about the warm-up on the way for Easter coming up here in just a few minutes. Right now, though, I want to send things over to our First Alert Traffic Department. Chris Scott, what you got for us right now?
Yeah, the Pickens County accident over in Clemson on US 76 at Pendleton Road still active and very, very busy. Busy time there anyway there at Clemson.
During the day today, we also have an air quality alert in Graham County where a couple of smaller but contained fires are in that area. So that is producing some wildfire smoke that's also causing some issues out there. So all areas you need to pay attention to. In terms of our wind forecast over the next couple days, it's going to be a little breezier for Friday and Saturday, but today's a nice light day out there. We get just enough mixing in the atmosphere that the relative humidity is not going to be a factor today. And today's really the only day that could be a factor because of that big temperature swing. Going forward, we've got much warmer overnight hours, so that keeps that relative humidity higher there. Friday and Saturday, we're looking at afternoon or winds gusting 20 to 25 miles per hour each afternoon. And then Sunday for Easter Sunday, coming down with those winds, then picking back up a little bit on Monday as a cold front comes back into our area. Overall, though, not nearly as windy as it was earlier this week. Today's a beautiful spring day with a lot of sunshine out there. You've got 74 in Travelers Rest into Blacksburg, 75 for Cross Anchor as well as Jonesville, with 75 in Easley, 76 Walhalla, and that 78 for the afternoon high in Bowman. Touch warmer than yesterday, especially for the mountains as you get to that 72 in Marshall down to Silva, 70 in Hendersonville, with Brevard and Highlands in those mid to upper 60s this afternoon. This is right where we should be for this time of year. Normal daytime high in the upstate is 74, forecast high of 75. In the mountains, your forecast high of 70 is right on the money with your normal daytime high for the day. Temperatures tonight won't be quite as chilly as we drop into the upper 40s to right around 50 degrees, and then mid 40s into the mountains. So we're staying well above the freezing mark across our entire area. Should be a nicer start to the day, and we'll keep those more mild overnight lows building through the weekend. So we're back to upper 50s to low 60s for overnight lows in the upstate and low to mid 50s for the mountains there. That goes hand in hand with the warmer temperatures we're going to see for the afternoon hours, with 80 degrees on Friday afternoon for Good Friday, 84 on Saturday, and then 83 as we look ahead towards Sunday. Mostly sunny skies Friday, gradually building to those mostly cloudy skies by the time we get into the day on Sunday, but staying dry for Easter Sunday. And then we do have that rain chance that starts to come into play as we head into the day on head into the day on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. We'll talk more about the timing on that and how we're getting better agreement amongst the models here, building that confidence for some of those scattered showers and thunderstorms for next week. Coming up in the next half hour, cover it up with a jacket. You got 72 degrees at 11 o'clock, 81 as we look ahead towards 2 o'clock as we're getting those dinners underway, and then you got 82 degrees at 5 o'clock in the evening, wrapping up the day with 77 degrees and partly cloudy skies as we look ahead towards 8 o'clock into the evening. An absolutely beautiful day, but our rain chances will start to go up after we get through Easter Sunday. We will talk more about those rain chances and the better focus that we have for some of those chances coming up here in just a few minutes. Right now, though, do want to send things over to our First Alert Traffic Department. Chris Scott, how's it looking out there as you're headed out and about on the traffic roadways this morning? Chris, I know you've been keeping an eye on our interstates as you head out the door right now.
Yeah, we are, and we have a vehicle fire. This is around the 63-mile marker in Duncan at Highway 290 on the southbound lane of I-85. It's been working
for next week. They're starting to come into better focus as to when and how much rain we may end up getting next week. As we take a look at today, though, no rain in this forecast. In fact, it's a beautiful day out there. 75 in Greer as well as Moore this afternoon, 76 in Malden with 74 up towards Gaffney. You've got 75 in Liberty with Hartwell, Abbeville, and 96, a high of 77 for you this afternoon. We'll see 71 in Weaverville down to Waynesville with 64 in Highlands, always one of the cooler spots. But on the flip side of that, you get that 74 this afternoon in Bryson City. Tomorrow, our temperatures are going to be even a touch warmer as we kick off this long stretch of 80s for the upstate. We're topping out about 80 to 84 across the upstate and northeast Georgia. A little bit cooler in the mountains, but still not bad for this time of year as everybody's running about 5 degrees above normal, topping out in those mid 70s to right around 80 degrees into the mountains. And then Saturday, we build it heat even a little bit more, low to mid 80s across our entire area. We see that again on Sunday. Saturday is partly cloudy, touch breezy with winds gusting 20 to 25 miles per hour. Sunday, the winds come down, but we've got a little more cloud cover, but staying dry throughout the Easter holiday. So I do want to talk about the drought monitor that just came out. Overall, not any major changes to our drought status from last week to this week, despite the fact that this week has been pretty dry. Keep in mind the data goes through Tuesday and it gets factored into the report that gets released today. The only change that we're really seeing is some parts of Anderson and Greenville County have gone back into abnormally dry conditions, but it's a minor upgrade. Now, next week looks pretty active. So even though we've been fairly dry this week, we're going to start to build those rain chances back in starting as early as Monday. And as of this morning, there's much better focus now on what we could possibly see unfold for next week. This is a look at the European model, which does show that cold front coming through on Monday. Pretty limited with the moisture for the upstate, but does give us a small chance for some spotty showers there. Then that front stalls out over the area, keeping those scattered shower chances going into Tuesday and Wednesday, but still pretty limited with the moisture on this. So this is not going to be a washout type of setup. I do think Tuesday and Wednesday, though, or Thursday and Friday, excuse me, we're going to keep those rain chances going. Now, the American model is starting to hop on board a little better. Yesterday was a little more sped up. It does look like it slowed down a little bit, showing the arrival of that front on Monday. It comes with a little more rain for Monday, and it keeps those rain chances around on Tuesday and Wednesday, as it doesn't quite clear the area yet, but again, keeping that moisture pretty limited. So our rainfall totals on the higher end of things could be about a half an inch to around an inch of rain between Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Still not a lot of rain, but it's certainly something to look forward to there. And as I said, I do think that pattern stays unsettled into Thursday and Friday beyond the 7-day forecast as well. So again, we're getting a better focus on those rain chances for next week. Not a washout by any stretch of the imagination any of those days. We will talk more, though, about that warm Easter weekend that we have ahead for us coming up here in the next half hour. Mac?
All right, Chrissy, thank you. Now we move to a Fox Carolina safety alert. Parents, listen up. The Secretary of Health and Human Services.
In the mountains, we're still seeing some 30s out towards places like Bryson City and Franklin, but we're up to the 50s in Hendersonville as well as Rutherfordton, with the rest of our mountain areas there into the 40s right now. Our temperatures in the mountains still a little bit cooler than it was at this hour by 10 to 2 degrees. In the upstate, though, we're already above where we were at this point yesterday as we head for temperatures that are just a couple of degrees warmer than yesterday. Not much that you're going to notice a difference, but we're inching things up a little bit here. 60 degrees at 10 o'clock, 69 at 1, 75 as we head towards 4 o'clock this afternoon. Mostly sunny skies as we head through the day today. So again, those sunglasses necessary. No need for the rain gear. I'd grab a light jacket for some of you as you head out the door, but you probably only need it for another hour or two as we head into those warmer temperatures. We'll talk more about the even bigger warm up on the way for the holiday weekend and how long those 80s stick around coming up here in just a few minutes. Right now, though, I want to send things over to our First Alert traffic expert, Chris Scott. Chris, what you got in Anderson County right now?
Yeah, if you're a Powdersville driver, look out for a crash on 153 at Highway 81 right at that intersection. It's always really busy. Look at the yellow and orange there, meaning the traffic is backed up in both directions right now at 153 at Highway 81. We also have a crash reported on Highway 290 in Duncan at Reedville Road. That is working.
Quality alert code orange into Graham County. There's a couple of contained fires in that area, smaller, but still contained, but still producing that wildfire smoke. So all areas that you need to be cautious if you do have some of those struggles today. Now, our winds, not going to be a factor for the firefighters today, and we have just enough mixing that it's going to prevent our relative humidities from bottoming out in those critical levels. So that's some good news there, is that our wildfire danger from a weather perspective is not a big factor for us. Now, Friday and Saturday, we're going to start to build those winds gusts, 20 to 25 miles per hour both afternoons, and then Easter Sunday, the winds come back down and then build back again as we get a cold front headed into the area on Monday, 20 to 25 mile per hour wind gusts as well. Not nearly as high as what we had earlier this week, but certainly something to kind of factor into your outdoor plans. Today, nice calm winds, a lot of sunshine, temperatures a degree or two warmer than yesterday. Absolutely beautiful April day for us. 74 in Travelers Rest as well as Chesney and Blacksburg this afternoon with a high of 76 in Clinton. We'll see 78 from Bowman down to Calhoun Falls, with Easley and Walhalla checking in with that high of 75. 72 in Silva this afternoon, 73 up to Marshall with Brevard and Hendersonville, both getting to that 70-degree mark later on today, which is right where we should be for this time of year. In the mountains, normal daytime high is 70, and that's the forecast high for today. In the upstate, your normal daytime high is 74, so 75, right spot on with where we should be for the middle part of April. Tonight's going to be a little more mild, still a bit chilly, but upper 40s to right around 50 for that overnight low in the upstate. In the mountains, you're into those mid 40s, but staying above those 30s, which is nice to see as we kick off our Friday. And then those overnight lows continue to build as we head through this weekend, becoming a lot more mild into the upper 50s to low 60s into the upstate and low to mid 50s into the mountains. So no concerns with any frost as we head throughout this Easter weekend. And in fact, starting tomorrow, we're going to kick off a stretch of 80-degree weather, and that's going to continue all the way into next week across the upstate. 80 degrees for Good Friday. For tomorrow, you've got 84 in Saturday with partly cloudy skies, and then Sunday you've got 83 for an afternoon high. A little more cloud cover as we look ahead towards Easter weekend there, but still overall not bad as we head throughout this Easter weekend. There is a chance for rain once we get into the early part of next week. We're getting a better focus on the timeline of that and how that front is going to interact with our area. I'll detail those rain chances for next week coming up here in the next half hour. Ladies.
All right, Chrissy, thank you. Now we move to a first alert coming out of our nation's capital where a legal battle is brewing.
82 degrees for an afternoon high. We'll see that around 5 o'clock with partly cloudy skies. 77 as we're wrapping up the Easter holiday there at 8 o'clock into the evening. Should be an absolutely gorgeous day no matter what you have planned on Easter, whether you celebrate or not. And we do have a rain chance, though, that comes into play after we get through the day on Sunday. We'll talk more about the potential timing with that coming up here in just a few minutes. Ashley?
All right, Chrissy, we got a first alert in our top story this morning. Thousands of students and staff, they are still in shock. It comes after news Limestone University could be shutting down.
Yeah, and school leaders, they say that financial issues are pushing them to close their doors and move online. We spoke with the mayor of Gaffney, who actually went to school at Limestone.
Devastating to hear the news because Limestone has been a pillar to this community since I think around 1845. It's withstood a lot of, different.
A lot of sunshine out there today. A beautiful day with 75 in Greer as well as Malden and Moore. A high of 74 for you in Cowpens this afternoon. 75 up into Liberty with Hartwell, Abbeville, and 96 topping out at 77 degrees this afternoon. We've got a lot of 70s through the mountains as well with 74 in Bryson City, 70 in Hendersonville. Spruce Pines, Brevards, and Highlands do get stuck in those mid to upper 60s, but that's still pretty normal for this time of year. Our temperatures tomorrow, though, kick off this stretch of 80s with 80 to around 84 across the upstate and northeast Georgia, and that's going to continue throughout the weekend. Even in the mountains, those mid 70s to around 80 degrees, that's about 5 degrees above normal for this time of year, and that warmer than normal trend continues throughout the holiday weekend. So Saturday, we're looking at highs in the low to mid 80s. We see that again on Sunday. Saturday is going to be a touch breezy with winds gusting 20 to 25 miles per hour and partly cloudy skies. Then Sunday, we'll see a little more cloud cover, but it does stay dry ahead of those rain chances increasing for next week. Now, the drought monitor came out this morning. Minor tweaks to this one, not a lot of big changes here. The only real noticeable difference is that there are parts of Greenville, southern Greenville, Anderson, Oconee counties that are now back into those abnormally dry conditions, whereas last week's drought monitor, you were actually completely out of the drought potential there. I do think with this dry week that we've had, we're probably going to see some minor issues come back into play for next week, but next week becomes more active, and so therefore we have a better chance to kind of offset any of that dryness that we've had this week. Now, in terms of our rain chances here, we're seeing a better agreement amongst the data here this morning versus what we had yesterday. So now we're seeing that European model continue to bring that front in as we head into the day on Monday. Pretty moisture starved, but it still brings a few spotty showers to the mountains there, and then keeps those scattered shower chances going into the day on Tuesday and Wednesday as we get just enough moisture across the area to spark off a few showers and even a few thunderstorms. The American model has kind of hopped on board with that solution. So it's also backed off on the timing of this front, now holding off until we get into the day on Monday. It does bring a better chance for some scattered showers Monday over what the European is showing, but it also shows that stall there with this front as we look ahead towards Tuesday and Wednesday, bringing us those scattered showers. Both sets of data continue to keep those elevated storm chances going into Thursday and Friday, beyond the 7-day forecast. Rainfall totals about a half an inch to around an inch of rain on the higher side of things. So we're still pretty limited with the amount of rain that we're going to get for Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Keep in mind it's scattered, so we're not talking about a washout any potential day there. And we're going to keep those warmer temperatures going as well as we head into next week. 80s across the upstate and those 70s lingering into the mountains. Ashley?
Right, Chrissy Kohler, we thank you so much. It's 9:48. Listen to this. Americans are paying on average more than $270 a month on subscriptions, and many of y'all don't even know you're paying for it. Apps, streaming